Good morning to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5am Club. This morning I come to you from these beautifully manicured green lawns in front of the Museum of Contemporary Art. It's an overcast day, it's been raining all weekend, it's Monday. There's a beautiful gentle breeze coming through. We had a magnificent sunrise this morning. It wasn't clear on the horizon, but it was a very, very deep red crimson glow on the horizon. About 3/4 of an hour before the sun actually came up. It was magic. It was magic to see. I was in the bus coming to work. I was on the upper level of a double-decker bus, and the view was just absolutely spectacular. Something that I haven't quite seen for a long time, but it was most welcome to start the work week. Anyway, let's go on a walk and talk, because today I've got another book summary to go through, and a pretty awesome book summary. I'm sure you're going to love this, and I actually guarantee you're going to love this one here, because it will resonate with most people. And the book is entitled Create or Hate. Create or Hate. And the author is Dan Norris. Haven't heard of this book before, but like everything, you pick it up, you don't know what to expect, and you go through it and you go, wow, that is some pretty powerful stuff there that not only I can benefit from, but a lot of people around me can also benefit from. So I guess one of the key messages from this book is that you're either a creator or a hater, and you can't be both unless, of course, you're creating hate. Anyway, so the author, I guess, where do we start on this book? Because there's so many good points. I just want to make sure that I get off to a good start here. So as I said before, he categorises people into either creators or haters, and you can't be both. And he says that in order to be successful, and this is pretty profound, in order to be a successful person in your life, you need to be somebody who does or makes things. Does or makes things. You create value. You do something which is positive. You do something which helps others. And on the other end of the spectrum, we've got people who are haters. And the author alludes and suggests that haters, or people who hate, are constricted by their hate, and they don't create anything in their lives, because hate stops you from adding value, from creating, and from being somebody who adds to the world around them in a positive way. And he said here, this is an important point for all of us to mull over and to consider. He said that hate doesn't happen all of a sudden. You don't just hate all of a sudden. It happens gradually. And here is the linchpin. Here is the absolute cracker of a linchpin. And this is what the crux of this whole book is about. Hate doesn't happen all of a sudden. It happens gradually, and it starts with negativity. Bingo! Hate starts with negativity. This is music to my bloody ears. I just love this, because you can't be a hater if you start with love and positivity. It starts with negativity. So listen up, everybody. Hate starts with negativity and escalates from there. And how's that? How's that for a revelation? I guess we've never seen it like that before, but this is the beauty. This is the absolute beauty of going through OPE, other people's experience. Because you get to experience the world through other people's eyes, through other people's lives, and through other people's perspectives. And sometimes their perspective is spot on, an absolute cracker, like this one here is. So he goes on to say that haters don't create. At the end of the day, they don't create anything positive or useful. And they've always got excuses. The reason why they can't create is amassed in a litany of excuses. But here is another point, a strong point that the author makes, that their excuses are just lies. So if you're making excuses for not adding value, if you're making excuses for not creating goodness and being the broker of joy and positivity and hope to all of those around you, then you're living with excuses, and those excuses, sorry to tell you, are an absolute lie. And here's another cracker. This book is just full of gems. The hater's strongest weapon. You're waiting for this one here? A hater's strongest weapon is their ability to convince you that the things that you believe in aren't true in order to stop you from doing things. They'll go out of their way to do and say and suggest things that will stop you from creating, that will stop you from doing things. That's their modus operandi, to stop you in your tracks, to get you to cease what you're doing. But we can get around this. We can get around this whole hate thing and lack of creativity by learning to accept that there is hate all around us and to acknowledge hate. You know, we're sometimes the victim and also the orchestrator of hate. And it starts with ourselves, where we hate something about ourselves because we don't want to do it, or we just want to be negative for some reason, because we all fall into these traps. So it's not, I'm not trying to externalize all of these things and say that it's happening around us and everybody else is at fault, because it's important to understand is that we are all victims of this, and we all are party to it, partners of it, and recipients of the negativities of this whole thing. So the author says, and once again it's very, very powerful, that the currency of haters is another beauty, the currency. You know how we've got Bitcoin, we've got dollars and cents, we've got credit cards and all of those things, which gives us power to do the things we want and to influence the people around us. The currency of a hater is their negativity. They love being negative. They'll turn a positive into many negatives. They'll make you feel stupid by being positive. So the key for each and every one of us is from this point forward to have zero tolerance, absolute zero tolerance for negativity. Negativity that we push upon ourselves and negativity that we push upon other people. So in a nutshell, what do we have to do? What's the takeaway from this book? What's the takeaway that we all need to sit up and listen to? It's a very simple one. To avoid negative people, to avoid negative groups, to avoid negative environments, to avoid negative media. Avoid negativity in yourself. Sit and listen to your self-talk. Sit and listen to the things that people say around you. And take note. Take note if it's positive or negative. Because if it's negative, it's going to drain you of every ounce of creativity. It's going to steal from you. It's a thief. The negativity in your life is an absolute thief. So be wary of this thief who's out there to rob you of your creativity, to rob you of your added value, and to turn you into a hater as well. So we need to practice self-awareness. Don't worry about the people around you. First, we need to operate at an individual level and listen to ourselves. What are we saying to ourselves? What are we saying to other people? What are we thinking? What are our thoughts? And the best way to do this is to jot them down, to have a journal, a personal journal where you can jot things down and be more self-aware, because you can manage hate. You can manage the negativity which makes up your thought processes, because we know, or it's been suggested by scientists, for people who know what they're talking about, that we have about 60,000 thoughts a day, and of those 60,000 thoughts, 70 to 80% for most people are negative thoughts. So think about it, that you can manage it, and you start by hanging out with positive people, by eliminating the negativity wherever you can in your life. And here's another beauty. So the author goes one level below. So he opens up the onion and peels one more layer, and he says that negativity stems from the lack of gratitude. And hate stems from the lack of gratitude, and lack of gratitude is all based on negativity. And you've got to understand one thing, and it's until you understand this, you won't really grow up, and you won't really escape the prison that you've locked yourself in. Negativity is shit boring, is absolutely boring, and people around you don't care. Nobody wants to hear your negativity. They want to hang out with people who have hope, who have dreams, who are working purposefully to actualize and manifest the beautiful things in their lives. Nobody cares about your negativity. And even yourself doesn't care about your negativity as well. So get rid of it, drop it. So the important thing is that as we practice more gratitude and look at the things that we have and appreciate the things that we have, we learn to become more creative. So one other thing that the author talks about, which is a practical thing, which may help us along our way to become more creative and to be less negative, is to change the language that we use. So the author suggests, instead of saying that I have to do blah, 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 to replace the word have, and to instead of saying I have to do this and I have to do that, because that sounds pretty negative. It seems as if somebody's forcing you to do it. To change your language, and instead of saying I have to do it, to change it to say I get to do it. I get to go to work. I get to get up early. I get to go on holidays. I get to enjoy time with my family and friends. So the author has another call to action, and he says that we must all try and take a week off complaining. Take a week off the whinging, the whining and the complaining. And one of the beauties of my Greek Orthodox faith is that we get opportunities throughout the year to fast. To not only fast what goes into our mouth in terms of the foods that we eat, but to also to fast on the hate, the judgment, and all the things that come out of our mouths, and all the things that we load into our heads, and to look at the world through a loving heart, and to try and soften that heart and make it more open to love. Another way of killing off negativity is to practice empathy. To practice empathy and to try and understand the people around you, and to try and live their lives through their eyes and their situation, and to sit back and to think, and not to worry about your past, not to worry about your future, but to live in your present and to know that you are good enough. You are more than good enough. You don't need to change dramatically. You are good enough, and just to try and add value wherever you can, even in the simplest way you can. And to remember that it's all about progress and not perfection, because perfection is also a byproduct or a causer of negativity. Because if you're too much of a perfectionist, then you're going to procrastinate, you're not going to want to create things for fear of being judged, and because you're not doing anything, then all you're going to be doing is looking at what's wrong with the world around you, what's wrong with the people around you, what's wrong about yourself, and that will create more and more hate as it snowballs over and over again. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me on this edition of Jim's 5am Club. I've really enjoyed delivering this one, and it was a book that there's no way in the world I would have ever picked up, because the title wasn't all that sexy, the author I've never heard of. But once again, as we say, every single book that I've ever picked up, I've learned something from, and at the end of the day, I am but an emissary, a messenger. So let's all become emissaries, let's all become messages of empowering vibes and knowledge, and to live, learn and pass it on. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, and most importantly, let's live a life of creativity, and creativity will come from being positive, and to eliminate and have zero tolerance for negativity, for negative people, for negative environments, and your own negative thoughts. So do whatever you can to shape your future, and I look forward to coming to you again tomorrow from a different location with a different message, a message of empowerment from either a book summary, an observation, a song. Who knows what will be the inspiration, but it will come, it'll be spontaneous. It will come from the heart, it will be authentic, it won't be scripted, it won't be censored, it won't be planned in any way, and it'll be just a casual walk and talk where we can share wonderful experiences and empowering experiences with each other, so that we can all grow and develop and get through the day, get through the week, and make the most of this very day which will never ever come back. So what you get to do today, remembering to say what I get to do as opposed to what I have to do. So what you get to do today will be a wonderful experience that you can use and leverage off and help it become a ripple effect to impact and positively impact the people around you. Yassas, take care. Feel lucky from me, from Jim's 5am Club. Sasagapao, and we'll chat again. See you later. Bye for now.